Right now I have 113 shares of AMZY, and you can see right there my core number is 2,600. I'm using other people's money. You can see right there I took out a personal loan of $6,500. The term is 5 years or 60 months. And you can see the interest rate is at 10.39%. And at that 10.39%, you can see right here, my monthly payment is $140. I've had it for 1 day, and you can already see the interest is accruing. And with that $6,500, my core number will go from 2,600 to 9,000. I'll have a $500 cash reserve. I'll go from 113 shares to about 390 shares. But Scott, really? 10.4% interest rate? Are you kidding? My response is I don't care, because I have an epic plan to pay this off in record time. And I want to give a shout out to the Oracle from YieldMax TV. This is his strategy, which I believe is sound, but I'm going to put my own little twist on it, a working man's twist, a poor man's core number twist, however you want to say it, to pay off the $6,500 in lightning speed time. Now, in a couple of his videos, he described using real estate, like an apartment building. I'm going to do the same thing for the new people here, because it's in layman's terms, and me, myself, and I am layman's terms. I don't know too much about the stock market, but I do have common sense and I know how to read. So let me digress. Let me explain to you how this is going to be epic. All right, here in the great state of California, there is a $9,000 tiny house that I want to buy. I have already put a down payment of $2,600. That is my own money. And I went to the bank and I got a $6,500 mortgage that you can see right here. It's 5 years or a 60-month loan. The principal and interest payment is $140. Now, I'm not going to live here, but when the mortgage gets funded, I'm going to have tenants, I'm going to rent it out, and they're going to pay me monthly rent. Simple enough, right? Are you following me? Okay, so the core number is $9,000, the tiny house. Dividends, I'm going to have 390 shares. Let's say they just pay 50 cents a share. Well, that's $194 a month. That $194 is enough to cover the $140 mortgage payment with about $50 of profit. Now, last month they paid 97 cents a share, which would have given me $378 of income, more than enough to cover the $140 mortgage payment. But if you do some calculator math, the best case was 18 months, and that's with some core compounding. I'm going to get to that later in the video. Worst case, 24 to 30 months. Way too long. Then I thought, how in the hell am I going to accelerate this? I do not want to use my own money. I'm a working guy. My paycheck is my paycheck. I take care of my own bills. I'm not putting any more money into this. It's got to somehow pay for itself in record time. Then I actually stopped what I was doing, actually thought for about 30 seconds of how I'm going to do this. And lo and behold, without me even really knowing it, I already have a bunch of tiny houses that do not have a mortgage. So I'm going to use 4 tiny houses here in California. The first one you already know about, the $9,000 tiny house. Let me introduce you to the other 3 that I'll be using. And the first one is my YouTube house, no mortgage, free and clear, pulling about $400 a month on average. Now, passive income, let me define that, at least what I think what passive income is. You earn income for doing nothing or just doing something very little. So on this YouTube house, it took me about a year to build. I got scraps from the junkyard and I put it together. It took a whole year, but finally I got tenants in there for the past 3.5 years. They've been paying consistently. This month of May, you can see I'm at $315. I'm tracking about $475. So on average, I know I'm getting passive income of $400 monthly. And I want to reiterate, as a working man, I never depend on passive income to pay any of my bills. I wait for it to hit. It either goes into the savings account or I spend it. I don't depend on it. So again, $400 a month passive income. That's going to pay back my mortgage on my $9,000 house. My next house is the credit card house, and I'm going to say about $115. The tenants pay that much a month, and that's the low end. And they've been paying this for years and years and years. So it is a stable source of passive income. Again, I never depend on passive income to pay my bills in real life, but here are some screenshots just on this particular card. I roughly average about $200 a month, but on my daily driver, you can see $668. If you do some math, I think that's $130 something a month for the first 5 months. And you can see today being May 22nd, yesterday, I made $171 last month. But let's just stick with 115. So that's house number 2 of passive income that I'm going to use to pay the $6,500 mortgage. And FYI, as far as credit cards are concerned, I never carry a balance, which means I never pay any interest. I pay cash. It's a tool to make money. And the last house money I'm going to use that does not have a mortgage is my Amazon house. This is a screenshot of last year, $715. You divide by 12, that's about $60 a month. I'm thinking $50 a month on average. Sometimes I get a little bit more, sometimes I get a little bit less. Again, I do not depend on this money for anything, so it's going to go to pay down that $6,500 mortgage. So I'm using rental income from 4 properties to pay off that $9,000 tiny house. It's that simple. I'm not using any of the money that I earn at my day job. That is my own money. It's separate. I'm the parent corporation. I take care of my own bills. This is passive income generating me more passive income. This is passive income that I'm investing to produce more future passive income. Okay, so here's the breakdown. $6,500 loan, $140 a month, right? 390 shares. YouTube pay me $400 monthly. Credit card, $115. Amazon, $50. The dividends from the AMZY house at 50 cents a share, $194. Core compounding not included. I'm still going to get to that. You're looking at about $759 a month. I asked ChatGPT. It would take 9 months to pay off this loan at 10%. Okay, second scenario, YouTube goes up a little bit, $425 a month. Credit card goes up to $150 a month. Amazon will stay at $50 a month. But let's say we average 80 cents a share for the AMZY house. That's $312 a month. That means $937 a month of passive income. I put that to the $6,500 loan, 10%. Now it only takes 8 months to pay off this 60-month mortgage. And again, core compounding is not included. I'm still going to get to that. But Scott, this is the stock market. Anything could happen. It can go up, down, it can just go away. You know what? That's a fair question. That's true. But let's keep the analogy of real estate. I've got this $9,000 house. Let's look at this graph. Here's the AMZY graph. You can see it's trading at $23 per share right now. It's a brand new neighborhood. Let's make this the neighborhood. It's a brand new neighborhood. It's about 10 months old. So we look at year to date. You can see it's all green. It's up 15%. Good schools, the police department, the people are happy. It's a great neighborhood to live in. We look at year to date. It's up about 9%. Last 6 months, up 10%. Last month, we're up. We're still up. Last 5 days, okay, maybe there was a few thunderstorms, local street flooding. It's all good because it's not down that much. You can see where I'm going with this. Right now, my house is in a really good neighborhood. But now let's talk about core compounding. How does this fit into this strategy? Well, as a homeowner in real life, I go to Zillow every couple months. I look at my home. Here in California, it always seems to be up anywhere between $100,000 and $200,000 than what I paid for it. Oh, and I may have forgot to mention that I'm not putting the $6,500 into AMZY until after the next dividend date, sometime around June 7th, 8th, or 9th in that general time range. But going back to Zillow and this Fugazi real estate that we've created here, the AMZY neighborhood, let's pretend my core number is $9,000. One day that $9,000 home might be worth $9,300. What are we going to do when it's worth $9,300? In real life, you just say, oh, wow, if I sold my home, I'd get X amount of money profit. Well, in this Fugazi world, if I'm at $9,300, I am ripping that $300 off the top to make my core number back to $9,000. And for the rest of that month, there's no big dips or no increases. The dividends are going to pay out what they pay out. Let's say they pay out $1 a share, $390 in dividends plus $300 of the RIP. I'm going to withdraw that after the dividend payday. So now I have $690 of profit in 1 month from $9,000 to go along with all the other passive income from my other little houses to pay off the $6,500 mortgage. But what about if there's a little bit of trouble in the neighborhood, one day or maybe a week or 2 weeks? Maybe my $9,000 house is only worth $8,800. Well, that's when me, the mayor of this AMZY neighborhood, that's where I have my cash reserves. This is what a good mayor does. I'm going to put $200 back into the neighborhood. Maybe there's a crime wave. I'm pushing towards the police department to bring it back up to $9,000 to get us through a tiny little rough patch. Plus, it's a win because I'm buying more AMZY at a lower price. So when it does go back up, I'll get even more profit. So if I can get a couple months of good, positive core number compounding on the RIP, realistically, 6-7 months, I could have this whole little $6,500 paid off. That is in no time compared to 60 months. And then after 6 or 7 months, this house is paid for. It's paid in full. Now, all the rent that the tenants are paying me, it's profit. $400 to $500 a month or so from that $9,000. Of course, I did lump sum about $2,000 of my own money. I can pay myself back, couple months, then it will be totally free and clear for even more free money, which I can build other positions. I can try out other funds to see how it goes. I just got to remember to keep an eye on the neighborhood, and at any time, because I know things don't last forever, at any time I think the neighborhood is going to hell, I push a button and I sell my tiny house and I move to a different neighborhood. But this time I won't have a mortgage. I'll have a free and clear $9,000 house to plant in whatever neighborhood I choose. Oh, and one more thing. People are going to say, well, what about the 1.01 expense rate or whatever it's called? Call it homeowner's insurance. It happens once a year. It's a part of making money. I'm not concerned about it. Eventually, this will be free money using other people's money. I'm using passive income to create more passive income. This is my twist on the strategy that the Oracle has set forth that works for me. I'm not trying to get rich. I'm just trying to generate a little bit more income. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment. Thanks for watching.